Thank you so much for coming in. If you're out there, you'll hit that thumbs up. This is a very late night stream, but no less. There's always something to share. Okay, so this is the tiniest clip probably that I've ever shown, but I want to show this clip for you because it's a testament to, I don't know, some might say innovation, some might say creativity. Hi, Killer Whale Channels. How are you? Thank you for coming in on such a late live stream. I really appreciate it. This is pretty trendy clip that I'm going to bring you right now. It's a very short clip, so if you're not careful, you'll miss it. But thanks so much again. And yes, I will be happy to bring you that clip in just 1 second. So we're going to share that right now. Let's see. Now this clip actually is entitled, "Is This a Trend?" And so I'm gonna go ahead and play it for you right now, just to kind of kick things off. Uh-oh. Sorry. Was like the shortest clip ever. I'm not sure if you caught that, but it was definitely a shorty. But I'll certainly, I'll probably replay it again, because if you're not careful, you'll miss it. Like, I was going to enlarge the clip because it was so short. So, hang on a second here. So yeah, so let me scoot back here just a second. I'll play that, and then I'll flip it back. Okay. So, sorry about that. This is not, yikes. Okay, so here you are again. Did you see that, Killer Whale? Like the shortest clip ever, right? It's like you can't really catch your breath. It's like a big wave, and then you don't have a chance to recover from that. Yeah, so yeah, that's I guess that's one way to start off the stream. But you know, this is a pretty chill stream. Not a lot going, not a lot. This is just generally just kind of a chill stream. I'll bring you a few stories, a few quotes, and tomorrow I'll probably resume with, I guess, business as per usual. But there's a bit of quietness in the community now. And thank you so much for coming in, Killer Whale Channels. Yes, I'm very happy that you decided to come on. And let's see, I will have a little bit of tunes here just for a little bit. So thank you so much for coming in. Excellent. Finally, my gosh. Good for you. Very unfortunate that it takes so long. Yeah, because we're almost to the end of the month now that I think about it. Thanks so much for coming in. Shout out to anybody that's in the background, whether you're on the work morning or your work day. Happy Thursday to you, and happy Wednesday to anybody that's on the West Coast. And look who's here. DJ Vision Barnett. DJ, how are you doing? Shout out to you. This is a little bit of a late night stream, you know. Just need a little coffee to get going, you know. And just for kicks, I'll drop this link out there just for kicks. I did another stream earlier today where I had a friend of mine on. And yeah, he actually played a little bit of guitar. Played a little bit of guitar earlier. We were testing out a few things because next week I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I'm going to be bringing something exclusive to Black Spring Live. It'll be the first exclusive interview for Black Spring Live. So I really appreciate everybody's support, and hopefully we can continue to grow together on this channel and continue to network in these strange times. Take your time, DJ. I am just warming up and thank you for coming in. Anybody can hit the like button, and I dare anybody to hit the share button at this hour. I mean, who knows? You never know. Thank you for the support. Shout out to Killer Whale Channels. Shout out to DJ Vision Barnett. And anybody that may have stopped by with the window down and the lights on. And they kept going. I appreciate that. Hi, Banging Gears. Banging Gears is here. Banging Gears, I think you were here earlier. So I appreciate everything. Appreciate you if you're spending your lunch break, you're spending your smoking break, your cigarette break, if you're passing through on the way back home from the store, if people still do that during this time. And yeah, so I think it's possible that DJ Vision Barnett might be joining us here, but you know, nevertheless, I always like to come out with something a little bit patriotic in these times, something a bit of a lesson. You know, I think many people don't really deal in lessons, and they don't really deal in history, but I do think for those that do, or for those of us that are smart enough to recognize when something's not quite right, I'm sure you'll get something, maybe you'll find something that speaks to you. So just give me 1 second here. Thank everybody so much again for joining me on this late night moonlight session with Black Spring. And once again, shout out to the winners of the playlist of the week. That goes to shout out to you, Banging Gears. Nope, I'm at work wasting time with you. See, that's what I say. You know, there's no place you'd rather be at work, complaining about work, or at home complaining about being at home, or at work wasting time with me. So there you go. I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, so, and kind of our piece of the morning, or the evening rather, it's our piece from Timothy Snyder's On Tyranny. And let's see, we have, of course, we've seen all kinds of things. Of course, we've seen arrests at the beaches. We've seen people protesting from the Midwest to the east, southeast, or the north eastern seaboard, if you will. And I just want to put this out. And I think it's going to be lesson number 8. Lesson number 8. Stand out. This lesson is number 8 from Timothy Snyder's On Tyranny, Lessons of the 20th Century. So from that, stand out. Someone has to. It is easy to follow along. It can feel strange to do or say something different. But without that unease, there is no freedom. Remember Rosa Parks. The moment you set an example, the spell of the status quo is broken and others will follow. So I think that that's pretty apropos to what we've seen. And I'm not saying that that's a projection as to what we will see, but I think we are seeing civil disobedience. And I do think that that will continue on some level. I think, of course, other arrests will occur. I don't know. I don't know am I going to tell you that I feel optimistic right this moment about what's going on? I don't. I'm not going to, I'm not necessarily a pessimist either, but I think this is more of a realist perspective that I'm coming from. Because, not only are Americans suffering, but Americans are hurting. And they're hurting in more than one way. Some scars we know, or some damage we cannot, it's not a tangible that you can see or that you can even put your hand on. These are the things that take a long time to sometimes they manifest themselves in other things. They'll manifest themselves in other relationships. They'll manifest themselves in other social constructs, or they will break down belief in social constructs. And I think maybe that's the part of the motivation here, is to break down people's belief in social constructs. And believe it or not, the government is a social construct, but they exist. It consists of people, actual people. Okay, so shout out to, is it Putri? I'm sorry, Putri's Diary. Hello, good vibes. How are you? Welcome in to this late night. It's moonlighting with Black Spring. Shout out to Banging Gears for spending some of his time at work with us. Shout out to DJ Vision Barnett. Shout out to Killer Whale Channels. I think Killer Whale was one of the first in to this stream. I'm from Southern California. DJ Vision Barnett, how are you? Give me just 1 second. I'm going to drop this link in here. Give me 1 minute. Oops. 1 minute, and I'll be right back. If you're ready to come on, I'll be glad to have you on. I'll be right back. So just give me probably 1 minute, 1.5 minutes flat. I will be right back. DJ, how are you doing? How are you doing this Thursday, Thursday night / Wednesday morning? So actually, I'll play this again. I played this at the very opening. It's such a short clip. If you're not careful, if you blink, you will miss it. So I thought maybe you would like to see it. Hi, Robert L. Thank you so much for coming by. Okay, all right. So shout out to Robert L. Thank you so much. And Banging Gears. So what's my opinion about the media coverage on the Biden sexual assault allegations compared to the Brett Kavanaugh and others? I will tell you right away that it's very much, it's hypocrisy per usual, you know, the whole, yeah, and of course they're suppressing it. You know, they're not. They act as if nothing is going on. But the way they treated Kavanaugh, nobody believed in due process. Okay, you know, they basically ruined that guy's, almost ruined his career completely, and but then but he gets a pass. I mean, I'm going to tell you, like, you know, there was a time where that I was, can I say, less, that my views were more, I don't know, more liberal, and I would have never seen, you know, if you're not paying attention to these things, you don't know what both sides of the coin look like. And if you're, that's the same thing that happens with low information voters. Some people call it low voter IQ. It's the same thing. Being misinformed is the same thing as low voter IQ, because you never see what happens, the standard on both sides. You know, it's okay for him to do or have these kinds of allegations, but you know, of course, it's not going to be treated the same way. Banging Gears, it's not. It's already not being treated the same way. I mean, and where are all these Me Too people? I mean, did somebody douse them with something? I mean, Kamala Harris, I mean, she was quite vicious when it came to Kavanaugh. But you see, she had no problem endorsing this. And see, I'm going to tell you something about this sexual assault. This sexual assault thing was out 2 or 3 months ago. Number one, they started running stories, or the allegations, or more things were coming out a couple of months ago, and it's just now it's just now getting any attention. But you know, there's no shame in that party. I mean, there's no shame in that party. They get away with everything. And you notice that I'm not sure what the Republicans, conservatives, they can't seem to get anybody prosecuted, or nobody can even be arrested. That party it's like they're untouchable. It's not, I mean, to me, they're communist. It's not a Democrat party. That was a misnomer. And it has been for a long time. You know, some people say, oh, you know, you can't tell the difference. Well, you know, and that's what I'm saying about everything that's going on. You know, it's not the conversion or this new paradigm that's on the crest. it's not new. It's not new to them. We were the last ones to get it. Right. But that's the thing, Megan Gears. There's nothing going to be. I mean, the whole thing about the whole Ukraine projection with Burisma and all of this stuff. Whatever happened to that? It's like it's a fickle mob. It's these fickle mobs and mobsters and criminals. They don't. Nothing happens to them. It's like they're not gonna. Nobody. He would get in front of the camera and tell, "Oh, my son did nothing wrong." And now this. Yeah, I'm telling you, 6 ways from Sunday, there'll be more. There'll be more things uncovered, and they're still going to hold him up. They're going to hold him up because it's a desperate party. Yeah, they're gigging up for another round of impeachment. That's exactly what they're going to do. I mean, and now and that's all. And look at the way that it's going. I mean, people might be more inclined, I don't know, to watch this junk. I mean, I had enough of the last impeachment. These were the kinds of things they were doing before this virus or the crowd disease broke. They were trumping up this stuff. And nobody even talks about how long we went through that. Into the new year. The year barely rolled over with that being done. Every day for weeks she was on. Her press conferences included he's impeached forever. Forever, forever. Every day. That's what they were doing. I tell you, it's really frustrating. It's almost like I'm at times I'm not. I mean, I've heard people say they don't even think voting can clean this mess up. It's a mess in the true sense of the word. I mean, I've said over a year. It's like, how far away is the ballot box? It's like, is that? But I'm not. It's just. Yeah, we're not exactly set up for success here. And there's just a bunch of lip service. People are lip service. Yeah, and then everybody's sitting around. Ay, 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 beggars. Wasting more money. Wasting more money. So I'm not impressed. But I mean, but they have an agenda. It's even beyond. I mean, we're less than 6. What are we? Maybe at 6 months out. Less than that. No, we're coming up. It's going to get down to the wire. Yeah, and they've just got so many things. It's just going to be another distraction. Distraction after distraction after distraction. And I don't know. I just think that even this whole crowd disease thing is losing steam. It's just, yeah, it's definitely a dark time, a rough time. So yeah, I mean, yeah, just they're just gonna waste more money, and that's what they like to do anyway. And my thing is, why are they still? I mean, they're on recess right now. What are they actually doing? I mean, maybe they should not be working. Maybe they need to go home for what they actually do. Lip service. They're sitting in their comfortable homes. You know, somebody's coming in to take care of all of their domestic needs, probably. So it's like a vacation for them. And then they're all going to rise from vacation energized to do what you're just saying. Rise for another round of impeachment. So it's just a rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So if you guys could hit the like button just for the, just for the stats on this thing. As I'm showing 4 people somewhere. I don't know, somebody's lurking somewhere. I don't know, maybe they're passing by. Maybe they're eating ice cream on the way home or something. I don't know. Just honk the horn. If you honk the horn, same thing as it can be the same as hitting the bell. Takes the same amount of time. Pull over. Honk the horn. We appreciate you for checking in. Always on Black Spring. So yeah, I'm just thinking, I submit that, everybody's, oh, call your senators, call your representatives. I'm like, my gosh, I think they're the problem. They're sitting at home getting paid. Honestly, I think, well, I just say that they're probably going to try to, they're going to try to, they're going to put somebody in younger than him for starters. And it might very well be a woman. I can't, I don't know of anybody else that they, I mean, and that, I mean, what have I heard? Michelle Obama's name a few times. I don't know. I'm not convinced that they would run her. Yeah, I'm not convinced that they would run her with him as a VP. And then those other candidates that they had were just, ay. Yeah, well, that would be pretty gross. She's not. Yeah, she and him, they would probably do well together, considering, they kind of have similar, like she's got a nasty past and yeah, she's just as diabolical as, to me. She could be up there with Clinton. I would think, maybe worse, because they all have similar agendas. It's like they borrowed pieces of each other's platforms. Well, they didn't. Everybody didn't actually have a platform, including her. They borrowed pieces of each other's websites. At least the only person that was, even though Bernie was socialist, at least he was honest with what he was, halfway honest about what he was going to do. He had run out of the guise of that party, but the rest of these people are going to just be, they all had similar things. They're all new paradigm people, globalist agendas. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I really don't know that party has always been, it's nothing about them that says America. And then they they go in and they take these oaths, and it's like, who's going to hold them? I mean, we're the ones that are holding them account, or that's supposed to hold them accountable, but that hasn't happened. Or either they're just paying off enough people to keep them there. So it's misrepresentation. Da-da-da, we got somebody. And look who's here. It's DJ Vision Barnett. How you doing, DJ?
Yo, what's going on? So what did I miss?
Well, DJ, well,
if anything.
You said Viva la Resolution. Well, not a ton. I mean, Banging Gears and I have been talking about just generally, I guess the Democrats. I mean, like potentially who's going to be the VP pick for Biden, and then these allegations, these sexual allegations or sexual assault allegations against Biden. I'm just thinking they're just washing over it like
double standards.
Nothing.
Double standards.
Like they've kept everything. Like the whole Burisma, the whole Ukraine Burisma business. It's like that. It's like that never ever existed. It's like, are we that fickle that we just don't? I mean, those people are in deep, and it's never going to change. Unfortunately, it's not. To me, it would take another generation. It would take some generations, I think, to get. Some people call it, what is it? Trump has referred to it as the swamp.
Yep. Well, to me, what it might take is to me, it'd take basically a failure of their candidate when they get who they so-called want. It'd take that failure for them to begin to think maybe it wasn't such a good idea. I had a discussion at work today, at my store, and the manager was like, don't believe don't believe into the lies that I've been told, Fox News and Trump, and he just went in. But
can you guys hit the like button if you're in, or if you're passing by on the way home or whatever? If you're on the way to bed. But because it's like you could pass by something and take a look and then keep going, but it's still, I think it's still registered that you're actually watching, and you're not watching, you're not actively watching, you're just, hang on just a second, I got a little bit of something from Banging Years. He says, I mean, every Facebook meme is Biden creeping on some little girl and no one is taken seriously. No, they're completely.
It's funny. Some people are so busy with their lives they don't even notice this exists. And at work, the manager goes, "Yeah, we voting for Biden." Said it just with all his heart. But he literally doesn't know, and then he goes, "Well, all the politicians are pedophiles." Come on.
Yeah, well, they say that because they don't want to admit that they're wrong,
right?
Because they're actually ashamed of what choice that what their decision is, but that makes them feel better.
Feel good.
You're feeling better because, well, it doesn't make any difference whether I vote for this one because they're all. Well, that's not all true.
Right.
That's a half truth. And that's how some people, that's why they continue to vote the way that they do. Because they're not looking, they don't have any real factual information. They don't even look at, you got people that don't even believe in history.
Right.
And history is something that you cannot change.
Right. Right.
So I don't. So my thing about it is, I recommend people see for themselves. You know, as JLPC,
You know,
JLP says, when you see it, then it's yours. I can show it to you, but when you see it for yourself, then you saw it, and you so it's yours. It's yours then.
right.
Not because don't do it because I told you.
Right. Don't do it because I said don't follow me. Don't follow me. He always said that. Don't follow me. Do your own research. Look it up for yourself. And
But that's what they won't do it. They
match
won't do it.
the evidence, then that's up to you to decide. But don't follow me like a pansy and a puppet. you know, look it up for yourself. Don't just go off of what I say, and in the opposite turn, don't just go off what your party says without looking up what's going on. If you don't even know, if you can't even mention a law, but you could emotionally shout out, what laws did Trump do that benefited the black people?
Well, ask him the same thing about Obama. Like what that guy. I'm telling you,
that guy.
It's what do they call it? Cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
You know something's wrong, or my thing is, but they had no problem with him saying that he was, when somebody kind of called him out and said that, oh, I think he wanted to change the narrative right away when they said, oh, well, Obama is the first black president, and then he said somewhere along there was this. I'm paraphrasing, wherever it is, it's out there somewhere, that he said that he was the president for everybody.
He said what he said was, he's the president of the world, but I don't know whatever the heck that means. But he said that
he had a global mandate. He had a global mandate. He was supposed to finish what somebody else started in this new, I don't care what people say, new world order, whatever they want.
Citizens of the world is what he called it.
Well, that's a global citizen of the world. You can only
he said it at the United Nations at that.
You can only be, people for hundreds of years have been citizens of most people have only had some type of legal citizenship in one country. Most people only hold one passport. And you've got to have a reason to hold a passport in two. I'm not even sure if dual citizenship is even something that's granted as much anymore. I don't know those parameters, but I don't know. Most people don't hold more than one passport. Exactly. Even the diplomats, I'm not sure that they hold more than one passport.
When it comes to diplomats, it's something called a red passport, which allows you to enter any country without extreme searches and all these things. They basically just let you go on back, and you're protected through the diplomatic process. It's political, but the reason why I said that, because I know some people, and I was kind of getting involved in trying to speak at the United Nations, and when I was involved in human rights issues, and as far as the United States is concerned, I was particularly involved in indigenous human rights issues, but it was basically based on Native American, colored, black, whatever you want to call it, and how it was based on the inhumane laws that were being passed based on the census, but it had nothing to do with what we actually understand, because we don't really understand government and law, and we don't understand the totality of it. So that's a whole nother subject, but that had more to do with, like, right now they want you to re-register for the census, but it's funny because now if you re-register for the census, it's no exact count due to the pandemic. You can do it online, and it could be anybody, and you could be an immigrant, and you could just be passed. So now it's a mockery now. But it was based on a legitimate count of your rights from the Constitution to your citizenship, and you qualifying. And if somebody tramples on any of these constitutional rights, you could take it to the United Nations and surpass every United States court. That's what I was involved in. So basically, even the Second Amendment laws, you could surpass that in the United States and go straight to the United Nations, knowing that if they trample on your constitutional rights, that's a bigger problem than just you going against your local jurisdiction or your legislatures and all that thing. So usually, sometimes it's based on what you know about a particular topic and how far up the chain you want to go with the situation.
Give me just one. Now you keep talking. I'm right here. I just wanted to show. I want to pull up something really quickly, but yeah, but the thing about it is, I think one of the last things that I posted was that, they're talking out of both sides of their mouths. You got economists talking about, oh, well, it's going to snap back very quickly. It's like, why do you keep giving, why are you giving, like, it's like false hope. 1 minute somebody's painting doom and gloom. The next minute you got all these health people telling us how bad, and there's six more symptoms to this thing, and you're over there telling everybody that the economy is going to snap back in no time, but then you got states that are not really opening up. I mean, really? I mean, even Georgia, I think Georgia's governor is getting a lot of heat for attempting to open up and maybe save a few more people from going on to the streets, whether you're a hairdresser or whether you're a nail salon owner. But he's getting slammed for that. And I think the fear is still keeping these people at home. Meanwhile, you got some beaches opening up where people are getting arrested because they say, oh, you can run, you can jump, you can swim, you can fish. Don't lie down with your towel. There's the parking lot still closed and no gatherings. And by the way, the police will be there. And yes, I mean,
on you to go to your car.
Because, okay, at some point, if enough people show up at the beach, does that mean, are you going to get out there and are you going to set up buoys that are 6 feet apart? Is that what you're going to do? Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, just look at the summer. Like, the summer's almost canceled, right? Like, the way
Yep. People are demanding to stay home at this point, demanding.
Because on top of that, the, what is it? Memorial Day is basically the kickoff of the summer. Everything's still shut down. Who's going to kick off anything? With what? What customers? They canceled concerts. They canceled all these Main Street is canceled right now in most places. So it's just like you're hearing.
I'm just wondering how long is it going to take for. I'm not going to say that. Let me rewind that because I don't want them to look at us like, okay. I know that they took down one of the doctors' direct scripts of information when 2 doctors streamed on several platforms, YouTube, Facebook. It's wiped it off Facebook immediately, but YouTube also. But we still keep people facts keep reposting.
If there's nothing to what, if everything that they say is true, why are they threatened by some small little YouTuber like myself? I think they've suppressed my channel since day one. My walkaway video, I actually did a walkaway, and ladies and gentlemen, no, that doesn't mean that I pledged that I'm a walkaway movement founder. It was just an attestation that I am not a Democrat. I voted democratically previously in 2008. So that's what it meant. But does that mean that I'm working for any of these organizations or that I represent TPUSA? Or not that I'm condemning or saying anything's wrong with them, but it doesn't mean that I have an allegiance to any specific group just because I'm saying I've always been a thinker. I just didn't have the it's just people don't question things growing up. It's a sign of disrespect. That's just the way many people are raised, that you don't question anything. If you ask anybody why, you might get smacked down. You ask me, what did you say?
Exactly.
Why? But you never talk about politics. You just see people flocking to the same tune. It's just.
They talk about politics when they start to get drunk and buzz. That's about the only time you hear it from your family members or parents. But other than that, they're so busy with their lives, they don't actually think about it.
Well, here's a tune. Banging Gears says no gatherings, but we're going to have the Blue Angel fly over New York City. So everyone go outside and watch, LOL. I hear you, Banging Gears. And then Nathan Fishboy. Hey, Black Spring, hope you're well. Thank you for coming in, Nathan Fishboy. Shout out to Mudmower83. He says, hello, everyone.
Mudmower.
I don't mean to skip anyone in here. It's just a late night, and I'm glad you guys came. Just hit that little like button or hit the bell or pull over, hit the bell. Don't do anything unsafe while you're driving.
Either way, we support this country 100%.
So DJ has merch. DJ, please drop your link. Can you do that?
Yep.
DJ is going to drop his link. And let's see. Oh, I need to drop the link of the people that won the playlist of the week. And we're coming up again. It's every week. There will be 2 playlists of the week. 2 playlists of the week. I might add a third, but for now it'll be 2 playlists of the week. And I will run. I got it. Thank you for that, DJ.
Right.
So yeah, go over to DJ's if you need to see what's going on. Check him out.
Like, share, and subscribe. Everything 2A.
He's got 2A information. He's on the front lines. He's a, what can I say? He's the 2A. He's a 2A expert, and he's a I don't want to say a gun toter from the Southeast. He's a gun toting patriot.
Son of a gun. Yeah.
Oh, Nathan Fishboy, he's here from Australia. It's 3:30 p.m. Shout out to Australia.
Hey, mate.
And the TR show is here. TR.
How are you guys doing in Australia, man? After the new gun laws from last year that have been switched due to the crazed maniac. Seriously, I forgot all about that. Oh my God, I forgot all about that.
See there, every time you stand up, another wave just smacks you right down, and you forget about the last wave.
You just really forgot. I forgot all about that. And actually, I'm good friends with a guy in Australia. He joined their military recently after that situation.
Here, let me give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the TR show. The TR show is in my chat.
Hey.
10:59 in the PM, and what would that be? Almost 2 a.m. on the East Coast. Shout out to you, TR.
Well, it's about 2 a.m. in 1 minute.
And shout out to Nathan Fishboy. Shout out to Banging Gears for giving us his time at work. And shout out to Mudmower number 83. Shout out to Killer Whale Channels was here earlier. Shout out to Robert L. If you guys could hit that like button. Shout out to Putry's Diary. Shout out to DJ Vision Barnett. He is on the screen, on the scene. And see, got some comments here. Yes. So, it's very nice that you guys decided to come in for this late night stream. And Yeah, I got a little bit of a clip for you right now. But you gotta pay attention, or you'll miss it. It's that short. It's shorter than any green light that you see. So I'm going to flip it back really quick. So watch carefully. Whoops, it's not even up.
Oh, I'm over here looking like, huh?
Uh-oh. Hold on, guys.
Okay. That's it.
I goofed. All right, so let me rewind it real quick. This is bizarre. Here's your crowd disease solution, all right? So, you know, if you don't have a mask, you know, because in some places, you know, you can't go anymore. Like there's more measures now in place for this situation than there were.
Yes, in my store, you can't come in my store without a mask, period.
That's what I'm saying. So, you know, what is this? What was it? Do you guys remember the phrase 15 days to flatten the curve? Do you guys remember that?
That was nothing but an advertisement scheme to adjust you to the new changes.
But wait, just a few more.
30 days.
But they're not even talking about it. Now it's somebody else's fault.
Yep.
Now it's somebody else.
Time to point fingers because we don't know what's going on. That's just how it works.
So yeah, so now blame it on somebody else. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I just at times like, you know, I mean, are we gonna is voting gonna get us out of this?
Nope, because remember, mail voting.
I just have to ask.
I'm gonna mail it in now.
Yeah. So it's you know, I
just don't know how this election is gonna go. It's gonna be the first time ever that we're trying something new. That's just in my mind. This is what's gonna happen. They're still gonna do regular voting, but it's gonna be extreme restrictions. It's gonna be just like every other. The election and voting is gonna be based on the store's measures. So it might be one person in, one person out. 10 people inside of a school building, no more than 10 people, including the people who are helping you vote with the machines and whatnot. It's gonna be in my logical mind, a guaranteed you have to have a mask to vote. You have to have gloves if you're gonna be touching the machines to vote. To me, that's the most logical thing you could do instead of having us mail it in. I can have anybody in my house, and they just come on. You gotta make sense of certain things. You don't even have them on the census. You're gonna accept them into your process. So the whole closing the border thing means nothing if we can allow anybody to vote with us. I mean, like seriously, come on.
I just see it's going to be a cheating situation. There's going to be ballot harvesting.
Yep.
You know, you can have you might have 5 people voting, each person voting multiple times from one household.
You never know.
One person might equal 3 votes. They're just doing whatever they want to do. It's like
they're changing the rules as we speak, as we get sleep into this whatever distraction. The distraction is gonna slide right under most people, and we're not even gonna realize what logically makes sense.
Well, you said to keep. This is a slumber.
Exactly. They lull us to sleep. We don't pay attention, but we do pay attention to what? COVID. Yeah. Every day. Anxiety, It just builds everything. Post-traumatic stress disorder, all these things nobody had before being created out of nowhere overnight, basically. And then you're just trusted with these images and these the radio and it's just all being thrusted into your visual and mental memory and your repetitive memory. And I know just by studying the brain, anything that's put before your eyes over 17 times is permanent. So me knowing this is not healthy for anybody, because if you don't even have a disorder, it created disorder based on the information you're watching, especially if it's not quality programming.
Well, here I'll bring you something else. But yeah, you're right. You're right. It's all they talk about the rise of cases, but they're not talking about. Are you talking about cases in which people have already? Is it possible these cases are showing up because people have already built up antibodies?
Well, let me
They
show you one. Let me show you proof.
they have antibodies now, so it's a case, but it's a case of somebody that's living with it and they're not dying. Their body
So
is fighting it off, and they're still walking around.
you're right, and this is the proof I have here. I have a friend. You would know of him, but you don't know of him. You know, Louis Farrakhan, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm best friends and brothers, fraternity brothers with one of his grandsons, and he actually caught the COVID, but he's recovering, and this is I'm gonna send you the text that he gave me this morning because I was gonna give him some natural herbs to get over the situation instead of chemicals. And this is what he said. This is what he said. That I'm feeling good, you know, right now, and basically he doesn't need any meds or help right now. He's basically almost done recovering. And it really surprised me because I thought he was like gonna be like sick in the hospital, but it's not. For people who don't get sick, it doesn't work like that. He doesn't get sick from almost anything. 95% of the year, he's 100%. So I should have expected this, but he read the positive report that the doctors gave him, and then it just brought him down a little bit, like depression. But then he gave it to God all the way, and then he said, he said just like this. He said, basically, the Most High definitely blessed me. Period. So you gave it up to the Most High, and basically, he said, but if it's in my heart, he'll receive the blessing of me giving him the medicine and herbs and everything, naturopathic ways. But basically, he doesn't even need it now. He's almost done recovered. And this is how many days? This is only what 3-4 days. From less than a week from your results. So I guess the when they say most of us will have had it or will get it and just destroy it is true. And that's just another proof like that just in your face. It's not hearsay, it's directly from someone who has it and who's conquering the situation, and the symptoms are basically 95% depleted. And he doesn't even want me to give him any meds or any herbs, anything, because he's basically beat it. So, but he said if it's in my heart, then he'll sure take it to prevent reinfection and things of these matters. And I understand it to keep your immunity strong. But this is just amazing.
They're not. It's. I swear, it's just a lot of they're going against their own. How I mean, a lot of these doctors and these nurses that are they're basically trying to put the truth out, and they're
They're getting fired left and right. They're getting fired left and right. I posted it. As a matter of fact, I actually did post it. Let me see if I can actually find.
Because look, okay, I had something to share with. I think there's something where Elon Musk is calling for the Free America Now.
Oh yeah, I definitely did share that today. I'm
going to plug it up here in just a second. But I think YouTube is snatching stuff down like a talon. You know, like says the video has been removed for violating community standards, community guidelines. You know,
if we go against their curve, it's violating them.
So yeah, but they pull everything, you know. More people are going to tell the truth about it, and it's going to get nasty. You know, I just think that people are angry enough to complain about stuff, but they're not. This is not, you know, they're angry. We go out and people go out and protest, with banners and stuff, and they're not responding to that.
Right.
They're not going to respond to it. It's like a lot of people got arrested for going. I think people got arrested even though they opened the beaches up. But I just personally, I wouldn't go out there if you can't. Here, you want me to add that? If you can't do it, if you can't even park, they're not going to take any responsibility for you being parked out there. Well, we told you, there's no parking.
Well, I'm about to share this for a quick hot second. All right.
Sure. Because I think they pulled. I was going to try to share some. They've pulled so many things.
Right, and we're talking about this subject anyway, so you might as well.
Whoop. It's without sound. You know what? I posted the rally yesterday, and they silenced the article that they silenced me reading the article.
Exactly.
Like after I was done reading the article, they went back in and let me talk with the people protesting, but they wouldn't let. Just thinking, this is a concerted effort to silence people
all across the board.
But then on top of that, you've got these loyalists that they want. Even Brandon Tatum said something about Trump not making good decisions, and the people in his stream just totally started smashing him. Oh, don't bash him and da-da-da-da-da. He's like, well, you guys got to get off your knees and start show some sack. In other words. And when he said, I'm still going to vote for the man, but he got played. Why is he?
Put it this way.
Why does he?
I'm in the same boat as Tatum. I'm in the same boat as Tatum. When Tatum said, "Just talks too much." I mean, that's a character flaw that could get you in trouble when you're on the stage. In general, I mean, that's just a fact. When you mess up, we call it out.
And fix it.
We still mess with you, but you can't keep getting played over and over again.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying. Somebody gave him a super chat in the middle of all that. I'm like, hey, well, how can you? He was like, just because he's not getting his way, and I'm like, okay, I'm glad to see Brandon's standing up for himself. He was like, look, you've got to call it out when it's not right. That doesn't mean that you don't support somebody because they could have done something differently or better. But I'm going to tell you the truth. People aren't going to keep, this situation is also detracting from him. It's dividing. It's doing exactly what they want it to do.
Right. That was their goal in the first place.
He's potentially going to lose some voters.
Right.
And they might vote independent. They might vote all these strawberries in between. A raspberry in between a blueberry. They're going to vote all in between there because they're upset about things that have been that haven't been fulfilled.
They're upset with the results and under pressure, and they assume that every human being under pressure is going to be an angel, but that's just not reality. I mean, people have their flaws and their faults, but as long as you're not insane, which means you're doing the same thing and expecting different results, then all will be well. But other than that, I'm fine. As Tatum said, as long as you don't do the exact same thing and expect a different result, we're
Well,
gonna be
he said that, you know, he says, why does he keep surrounding himself with the wrong people? That was
good.
the
And
great
sometimes I think he's forced in a corner to accept certain people, but based on who's the professional in a hierarchy standpoint and who's not. And even if they're not the best or they're not for the people per se, they're just using computerized generated mathematics to give out the information and then they relay it. To me, that's where we're at. Most of them use computer generated mathematics and information to call on things, but then they are behind what they call on, and they say basically they're representative of the situation, and half the time it's not accurate. You went from hundreds of thousands of deaths to okay, you tens of thousands. You just cut it based on the reality versus you know what Trump said if we do nothing. So I mean, there's two sides to it at the same time.
right, right. Well, I know, and I'm. It's just, you're right. I think that there's been way too many press conferences. I think in the beginning that the presence, I thought it was a good thing,
Yep.
but to me, sometimes he kind of talks himself into it's a redundance. You're not saying anything new. Like you're doing a lot of redundant things that are just, it's not even filler anymore at some levels. You know, the thing about things, a person can be constructively criticized without them falling apart. They should be able to withstand some level of constructive criticism without being feeling trashed. I don't know who his advisors are. I don't know. I mean, I think he's gotten bad information. I do. And I think he's certainly got some bad information on
Remember
him.
when I said I didn't like Dr. Fauci? I mean, that's the only reason why I said that.
And I think, but I also think that there was an opportunity at the beginning to kind of change course and say, look, I don't like what this model is yielding. I don't like the results. Not enough. I'm not getting enough information to.
The reason why he didn't go along with that route, and the reason why I actually know is because when I listen to the radio stations in my area, especially the liberal radio stations, they literally say, "How can he go against mathematics?"
But they don't know mathematics. The same people that are talking about
scientists,
they don't know.
They start screaming and shouting this, and then they call him dumb if he doesn't even.
But they were going to do that anyway. That's the thing about it. He's gone. That's the thing that I found ironic was that he went with his own gut on so many things prior to this, and it's like this. Yeah, you got to save lives, but at the same time, you also had the right to say, "Hey, I want another team," or let's run two teams together.
That's how I believe.
And two models. And two models.
That team you got. Number one, the lady, she's not. I study body language. She's 50% of the time she's not confident. Period. And that startles me. She sits there like this most of the time. Most of the time. And she's unsure of herself.
Huge. This country is huge compared to Italy. So don't you think you needed a more? I thought that whatever their ideas were, they didn't present that to the public. So you don't have a transparency to see what did they consider before they decided to do what they did. I thought maybe, well, if these people are so scientific, why
Right.
didn't they run more than one model, more than one test concurrently to see what brought them the most consistent results?
And
And then
then
at first they said, no,
give us and give us different models so we can make our own logical decisions on saying what makes sense. That's the problem. We don't have that much transparency. It's he and they are gonna tell us the model, and then we have the information. That's it. That's not necessarily accurate.
well, yeah, and then they had, they only had two people, like two visible people that were working. I'm no scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm not any of those things. But for all the people that are yelling science, 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 what science are you quoting, or where are you getting your science from? Don't scientists run more than one kind of test? Don't they look at more than one model for a country this size? They came back with one thing, and that's the rule. That's the rule. They're following that more than they are the Constitution. They're following that model tighter than they don't even, they don't even respect anything as much as they're respecting this model that they came up with. It's just not. You just don't hear. Where's the rest of the science? We only hear pieces of science.
Right, and I actually did had a dream about this situation again. And this dream was directly based on the whole country shutting down completely. And this dream was also based on if the military and the police combined their forces to make sure everybody stayed at home. But the worst part about my dream was the people fought back. I'm not gonna say it was too bad because I made it through my dream, but it began with the citizens firing at the government and the police. I'm talking about National Guard and police driving through the streets in their Humvees and trucks, and they put a national emergency out on every cell phone, every television, all the radios. If you don't get inside right now, blah blah blah. You're breaking the law federally, and this is what we are trying to not happen. We don't want this to happen. And you wonder why people are just buying up guns. It's not just because they're scared of their neighbors.
Hang on just a second. Hang on. I just want to do a shout out to William Vass Gaming. How you doing? He says, hi there, Black Spring with all right. Liked. Hope everyone's staying safe. Thanks, Doc. He says they are planning to kill millions. Something I'm telling you, like I've seen.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe.
The helicopters and stuff that I've seen, just so much helicopter activity going on. I'm like, there's nobody outside. What are you doing in these helicopters? Who was that? Was it Prince that talked about something like chemtrails, like some years ago? Some of the last interviews that he did, he talked about things being, released into the air. And at times, I'm just wondering. Now, they call me a tin hat wearer or whatever. I'll dust it off and polish it off for you. But at times, it almost seems like that I hear these helicopters. It's almost like, are they sensor? Are they coming around because they have some type of sensor or something in the areas based on the amount of activity that's going on in the area? I'm wondering, is that how they decide to come out? It's just randomly. You don't see a bunch of criminals running up and down the street. So what are they looking for? What are you doing?
Well, I know the machines and the mechanics of the helicopters. I was in Civil Air Patrol. Every single helicopter that you see flies above your head can basically see through your house. 1, 2. They can interrupt any transmission from cell phone, anything. From cell phones to computers and your internet. They can do all that just by flying over your house. When you see them directly flying over your house, it's no secret. So I'm beyond that. I'm beyond that.
They're doing. You know, there's some.
They already have drones for citizens right now, approved based on COVID alone.
William Bass Gaming says, if we don't fight back, martial law will infiltrate the world.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, because I'm gonna tell you what's happening is you got, like, what is it? Garcetti in LA said that, you know the phrase snitches get stitches. Well, he said the snitches get rewarded. What he said.
Hey,
so you got people calling the cops on their neighbors, calling the cops on people's kids close to
they're being bribed. They're being bribed to do it.
So it's like, what exactly? You're locking the civil people up, but you're letting out criminals,
pedophiles, rapists.
Because did you hear De Blasio the other day? Oh yeah, he was talking about how they needed like $7.4 billion for their deficit, but then they also needed another 3.5 because of the crowd disease. And then on top of that, then Maria Bartiromo says, or Bartiromo, whatever her name is, it's really hard for me. She says, so exactly how much money do you want? Oh, well, we need all the money that we're missing and all the money that we will need. So I'm like, so you just want a blank check is basically what you're asking for. And he says, oh yeah, by the way, he was like, and yeah, by the way, you let out 1,400 inmates. He was like, once things get back up and running again, yeah, we'll get everybody back that needs to come back. Oh yeah, they're just going to come running up to the, oh Lord, put me back in jail.
I'm back in chains, Lord. Oh, well, that goes along with that mayor that said, or governor, whatever he is, that said, okay, criminals, just chill out. And once the COVID is over, you go back to doing your crimes. We can lock all you guys up. But right now, we just need to make sure everybody's safe. So just chill out. Because we're trying to keep the police from not being sick. And we're trying to keep the citizens from not being sick. So lawbreakers and burglars and criminals of every fashion, just chill out. Come on.
These people are paid by
you had to smoke something substantial before you got on the screen and said something. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a business. I think that's a business model.
Of course, a monopoly.
You got a business.
That's like telling the mafia and the mob to just chill out. Come on. It'd be smarter if you told them to chill out because they may listen. They're organized. But you don't tell thugs from the gutter to chill out. They don't listen. That's the reason why they're robbing you tomorrow. You know what I mean? Come on. Stop.
Hey, hold on. Amazing. Amazing.
Just chill out.
It never ends. It never ends. Oh, here it is. Got a message from William Bass Gaming. Shout out to William Bass Gaming. Thanks for coming in.
Oh wow.
I got a couple of things. I missed one. He said, and Trump is not taking part or endorsing any of the tyrannical activities of some of the mayors and governors. And then he says, police knocked on the door of two of my best friends about 2 months back in my Australian town just to check that they weren't sleeping in the same bed, yet they are husband and wife. Whoa. Wow. But see, that's what I'm saying. They're entering people's, that's like you have no rights when they do that. You know, I told you about that lady that got arrested they arrested those two ladies for doing nails in their house. And I'm just thinking, so now you have jurisdiction to be in my house?
Tyranny. No. That's it.
So yeah, did you want to play that video? Is it working?
Oh, yep, yeah, I got you.
Whenever you're ready.
I was just allowing us to get what we had.
Yeah, I didn't know if you got it working or whatever, but did you drop your link? I dropped your link, I think. Did I? Oh, no sound, no sound. Did you check that box? The one, that little box on the bottom?
You're right. Got you. 1 second. Go ahead and do that one. All right.
Ay, get over there. Guess I'm gonna start doing some vlogs. I've been doing a lot of videos and a lot of streaming, but I guess
Here we go.
Okay.
Possible incidence or prevalence of 4.7 million. That means you have a 0.03 chance of dying from COVID-19 in the state of California. 0.03 chance of dying from COVID in the state of California. Does that necessitate sheltering in place? Does that necessitate shutting down medical systems? Does that necessitate people being out of work?
So whatever your view of the mass quarantines, and maybe you're enthusiastically for them, the questions you just heard are valid questions, including and especially our policymakers. But as Dr. Erickson pointed out later in the video, dissent, honesty, which is the soul of science, is under attack, even in hospitals. Dr. Erickson described the coronavirus, whether they believe that to be true or not.
We aren't pressured to test for flu, but ER doctors now, my friends that I talk to say, you know, it's interesting when I'm writing up my death report, I'm being pressured to add COVID. Why is that? Why to maybe increase the numbers and make it look a little bit worse than it is?
Who spent the last 6 weeks on a diet of Tiger King and internet memes, we're watching sober-minded medical researchers reading from charts of statistics. It's hard to recall a science video taking off like this one did. Conclusions, and of course, that's fair. We're not entirely certain what the perfect response to this pandemic is. Nobody. Unfortunately for all of us, informed debate is exactly what the authorities don't want. They want unquestioned obedience, so they're cracking down on free expression. Last night, the doctor's video, the one you just saw, was pulled off of YouTube, the largest video hosting site in the world. YouTube admitted doing it. The company.
They got flagged.
Back when all of this is finally over, and it will be, turning point in the way we live in this country, a sharp break with 250 years of law and custom. The two doctors' video was produced by a local television channel in California. It was, in effect, a mainstream news story. The video, the only justification for taking it down was that the two physicians on screen had reached different conclusions from the people currently in charge. It was a form of dissent from orthodoxy. YouTube and its parent company, Google, have now officially banned dissent. The CEO of YouTube admitted that openly.
But then we also talk about removing information that is problematic. You know, of course, anything that is medically unsubstantiated. So people saying like, take vitamin C, take turmeric. Like those are all will cure you. Those are the examples of things that would be a violation of our
saying that?
Anything that would go against World Health Organization recommendations would be a violation of policy. So remove is another really important part
what
of
she's
our
saying.
policy.
So you're not just putting the truth next to the lie.
Bless up, world.
Have you heard about
it?
Yeah, but
You're taking the lie down. That's a pretty aggressive approach.
We're removing, quote, anything that would go against World Health Organization recommendations. It'll now be taken off the internet. Consider
but
that for a
if
minute.
Trump is defunding them, why are they allowed to eat?
Policy, the WHO has often
This is
been
what I
wrong
don't
in its
understand is
recommendations. A lot
how
of
the
people have.
media can
In
go that.
mid-January, WHO told
How
us
the
that
media is
coronavirus
allowed
could
to
not
go
spread
against
from person to person. In March,
what
they told us that face masks didn't
the
work.
president decides.
Those were lies, and they were welcome on
How can
Google
they? How can they
platforms.
contradict
Doctors who actually
him
treat
or
patients
undermine?
meanwhile have just been banned. So
This
no,
would have never been tolerated by another administration.
never is about science.
You know what I'm saying? This was never. This
Big
would have never
technology
been
companies are
tolerated by
using
anybody
this
else.
tragedy to
Administration.
increase their power over the
Big
American
tech
population. They're
censorship?
working in concert with politicians in order to do it.
That's all it is.
Just today,
Big
Facebook
tech
removed an events
censorship.
page for a political protest in Michigan. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who runs that state, was no doubt pleased
The
to
next
see
day
it.
they're going to be telling
Grossly
you
mismanaging an entire state is a lot easier when citizens are not allowed to complain about it, and now they're not. Last week, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg explained that protests like these are no longer protected political speech. They're, quote, misinformation.
Now we're
how do you deal with the fact that Facebook is now
we can't protest. Now we don't have free. Now we don't have rights. We can't protest. It's misinformation.
Does that qualify as harmful information?
We do classify that as harmful misinformation, and we take that down.
Harmful misinformation. That is a phrase familiar to anyone who has watched totalitarian regimes in any country. It's now how Mark Zuckerberg describes political opinions he doesn't like. The free press exists to push back against obvious abuses of power like this one. It's the reason we have a First Amendment. It's the
what does he know about science?
Welcome to communist China. This country is becoming China overnight.
Becoming Nazi.
To spy on its own citizens. We have censorship if you don't agree with the administration. This is our first big shot of Hennessy when it comes to communism. When it comes to communism, we're taking our first shot of Hennessy combined with communism. Ever. We never
heard that analogy.
we never had. We never had a good taste of communism until today. Never. In our generations with an S. Not generation, but generations. Because even when the industrial age rolled out, we didn't agree with this. We fought it to tooth and nail. Even Vietnam, we fought it to tooth and nail. Why during this administration we accepted as rule of law?
That's
shut down. What does it say?
So you're like
headline. Shut down and obey.
They were like, take your medicine, lay down and take your medicine. This is what you get.
The worst part about it is, in those times, you would literally, you have doctors that tell you if you don't take this medicine, we're gonna label you as insane. It's the same programming virtually. The exact same programming, but virtually.
This is so pitiful, the way people are brainwashed and watching fake news.
But we're brainwashed. But this is what they tell me. But we're brainwashed.
How? Where's
being lied to
behind that?
We're brainwashed and we're being lied to and we're being played, and don't believe these lies. These are lies? Lie to me all day, man.
These people are they're not thinking is what they're not doing. They're parroting what they're doing somebody else's talking points.
Yep.
They don't have any perspective. Like what about this that you read, or conclusions what about this whole statement belongs to you?
Echo chambers is what they're doing.
A statement that you put together, an idea that you put together that didn't come from not what somebody told you.
Things like this make me want to take a pen and pad and start writing down specific laws so I can just start spitting in people's face exactly what the law that they don't understand. They never look. They can't even name one law. And
these people don't have any. I'm beginning to think. What is it that Will Johnson says on Unite America First? These people have a reprobate mind. They believe in lies.
By the way, everyone should check out the movie that is coming out, Uncle Tom.
That's the other question. Is that going to be an independent film? Let me see, where can I go? Is there online, just like a site for it?
UncleTom.com.
Is it that easy?
UncleTom.com.
UncleTom.com.
It might say Uncle Tom the movie, but UncleTom.com.
UncleTom.com. Ooh, UncleTom.com. It really is. That is really the site. I'm amazed.
I knew it.
I'm amazed.
Information is amazing.
So they said they could jump on the mailing list and you can get info. So I'm going to go ahead and subscribe and see what's coming on with that.
And the greatest part about it is the person who's producing the film, he got back at me when I shared my comment on being called an Uncle Tom. he just the producer said they're all just full of hate. That was his response. And he's right. You know, I mean, even Tatum just laughed and he didn't know what to say. He just said that's crazy. It just bulls, man. It's a continuous, repetitive situation in which more people are waking up.
Well, what was it? Let me find another story for you. There's a story I heard. This is the plural of I don't know. I don't think it was quite. It wasn't a rumor, but what was it? I didn't watch it, but I think I heard something about P. Diddy coming out saying something about the vote.
He did. What P. Diddy said was, he said, I watched it and I shared it. Let me see if I got it on my story because P. Diddy was talking about
Okay, I got it. I got something right here.
Cool.
Wait, well, it might come out here. Let's see. This is from thecomplex.com. I don't know. Did he make a verbal statement video?
Yeah, he made a video. He made a video with another person.
Let's see.
I don't know who her name is. It was a female celebrity.
It sounds like some dissension in the ranks, brother.
But what he said was Trump fulfilled his promise on making the wall. The Democrats have to fulfill their promise on taking care of the black and colored.
Was he going to say reparations?
What he said, when he also said he's going to hold his vote hostage if they don't fulfill or prompt their promises on what they say they're going to do. As far as Joe Biden,
you'll be too late by then. Hello.
Of course, we know that. You know that, but
yeah, I know. But it's like, what are you talking about? Like, and I'm not saying that I agree with whatever his promise is, but I'm just saying that okay. Here we go. I'm gonna play this. I thought
there we go. That's it. But
I didn't hear it. Blow it up.
The black vote is not going to be for free. We're going to have to see some promises. You know, what are we getting in return for our vote? Nothing has changed for Black America. And in order for us to vote for Biden, we can't be taken for granted like we always are because we're supposed to be Democrats. Because people are afraid of Trump.
What's happening
whoever's going to take care of our community, whoever wants to make a deal, it's business at this point. You know, we can't trust politicians, you know, so we want to know very clearly, just like Trump made it clear that he wanted to build a wall.
Don't tell you. Don't censor me.
Dang, you cut off.
Biden needs to make it clear that he's going to change the lives, the quality of life of Black and brown people, else he can't get the vote. I will hold the vote hostage if I have to.
You said it here. Said it first.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Oh,
you know, that was almost convincing. But they got to put the right. They got to put the facts in there. They've got to put some teeth behind that.
Right.
You know, you can't say. I mean, and I'm not even a black vote. I'm like, okay, well, where is your campaign going to start? What kind of things what specific things are you looking for? What specific things that you can't be on this handout kind of a bit to sit home and pick up a check. You can't be on that. So what exactly are you talking about, P. Diddy? Well, what are you talking about? Are you talking about money? Are you talking about reparations? Are you talking about, as they say, tangibles? What exactly are you referring to? You're going to hold the vote hostage. Does that mean you're not going to vote at all? Come on.
What he's saying is, I'm not going to vote until you prove to me you're going to help, quote unquote, my people. That's it. Whoever my people is, he got it on his t-shirt. And I got mine on my t-shirt. America. I want the whole country to understand. I don't care about one section or a color or diaspora. I want the whole country to understand.
It needs to be. They need to.
Got Africa.
I think he wants to make a turn. I think he wants to come out as not a Democrat.
He does, but he doesn't know how to do it.
I know he's trying to be careful.
He knows he's gonna lose almost all his support from the jump. He knows he's gonna lose all.
DJ, but as soon as he said that he probably blew up. Where's the freaking Twitter? I almost said tweaker. Where's
Twitter? The Twitter response is already said. I'm gonna give you one response. One of them.
I don't have a Twitter account, so I can't.
I don't either. I just read it because somebody posted it on Instagram. One of the responses said he lost me on his last comment.
What did they mean? He lost him. He said Biden lost you too. So what did that person lose?
Exactly. They lost the idea that when he spoke about Republicans and fulfilling their promise, that if the Democrats don't fulfill their promise,
Republicans have never. Trump is the first Republican to even come to the Black community and say, "What the hell do you have to lose?" He's the first one. So he can't really. You're not giving the Republicans a fair shot if you're basing it on every administration prior to Trump. You know what I mean? So come on, P. Diddy. Like, are you going to go to the premiere of Uncle Tom? What are you going to do, brother?
He based it on Trump fulfilling the wall, and what he said was, if Trump could fulfill the wall, then the Democrats could fulfill whatever they say they're going to fulfill.
You're not going to do that.
And if they can't fulfill that, I'm gonna hold my vote hostage, because if this quote unquote hater, as he's supposed to be a hater to us, he's not supposed to like Black people. If he's a hater to us and he can fulfill what he says, and you can't fulfill what you say for our people, I'm not even gonna vote. That's basically what he's saying.
Well, Mr. Diddy, you certainly got me curious, but you're not. But I need a little bit more clarity behind
exactly.
I need some teeth, some wheels, some gas. I need you to put some gas behind this pedal. Otherwise, you got to get this thing started up.
Yeah.
You might be sitting behind.
He's scared of the response.
You might be sitting behind the wheel. You might be sitting behind the wheel, but you're not moving.
He's scared of the response from.
He might have said too much right there.
He already said too much. He's getting hundreds and thousands of negative comments on Twitter. Based on that, I'm
willing to activate my Twitter account just to get that, just to see what people are saying, because I recognize they can be vile and vicious. Did you see that with Jack A and Candace, the way Jack A Harris? That was absolutely gross. How old are you? How old are you? Are you a child? You're old enough to be that girl's great aunt. Maybe
in their mind, they're a child in their mind.
It's like, are you talking to her that way? It sounds like a lot. That's a lot of talk coming from. Sounded more like some catty, old school mean girl jealousy or something. Old schoolyard girl. I don't like her. I'm like, how much did they pay you, Jackie? To get on there, because you're kind of obsolete right now. Does anybody most people don't know what the heck 227 was. Most people don't remember that show. Candace that show was before Candace Owens.
Exactly.
So, it's not a good look. It's really not. So, I mean, I think Terrence, what's his name? He pretty much went at her. Terrence Johnson, or is it Johnson?
Beats me.
He's a bit of a comedian, conservative comedian, Black. He pretty much went at her. He told her, "Don't you ever come for Candace Owens." But you know what the thing is? You can outclass people by not. You don't even have to say a word. She said, Candace said what she needed to say, and she walked away.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just it's funny to watch the black community come out like they're coming out with. It's like they're fighting back, but it's like you're throwing punches in the air. You're missing. You're punching. You're throwing a right hook.
Hey, one thing I noticed, the speed on your camera is paused and glitched. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, I saw. I've seen it. Maybe I'll hit the I might. Anybody that's still here, let me hit the refresh button.
That's no problem. I ain't going nowhere.
Put us back on the needle, right? Yep. I'm moving.
All right, you're moving and grooving.
Yeah, but that was interesting. Practice start thinking about something. We don't have a thinking.
That's just like they got fraternities where they just call everybody Ashleys. And if you're not an Ashley, you're not if you don't think the exact same way as they think, then you're just not accepted as a human being.
Pretty unfortunate. But yeah,
I'm in a fraternity, but we're opposed to these group think tank tactics. I think we perceive it as a brainwashing technique, but that's just how I perceive it. If you want everybody to agree with every note on exactly the way you feel, you're brainwashing them. But if you have an independent thought and a free thought, then you're your own person. God dang it, I thought that's what this country was based on. Sometimes that's what I thought.
Well, I'm telling you, you can't tell. You can't. Most of these people, they don't. It's like they've been living in some kind of a
bubble
with no windows and no air in it. I guess it's a bubble because you can't get nothing comes in and nothing goes out.
Nothing. Nothing. Living in a bubble or a box, either or.
Like I'm not. Man, I tell you.
And it's actually a test. It's a test in the military. I forgot what branch where they force you to. The only people who succeed are people who think quote unquote outside of the box. I learned this when I was in Civil Air Patrol when I was young. But you literally have to think outside of the rules of what they give you to succeed in the test. That's the definition of thinking outside of the box. That's some Air Force knowledge tactic that I used that they had us training on. But anywho, because I know you're in aviation, sometimes you just have to think beyond what you're given in order to think.
If they can't, they need to go and read something that's beyond what they were given or what they're seeing. But imagine that you had to read something.
you gotta read a book. Oh my God, you gotta read a book.
Crazy makers, but yeah, but that's kind of that's an interesting. I'm like, is he reacting to something that's happened recently? Oh, it says okay. So this one, I bet. So the LA Times, I guess LA Times is telling a different story about. I bet there's going to be all kinds of spin on what he actually said. Oh. Was this like an old? Okay, so this was back in 20. Let's just rip this one real quick. I remember.
It's my birthday, and I'm about to jump out a plane. I always wanted to do it. No, I really didn't always want to do it, but I started thinking about it this year. I want to do it in Dubai.
Hold on a minute. Is that okay? Oh no, I messed up. I messed
Yep,
up.
it disappeared.
I did the wrong thing.
That's funny. My dad ended up doing that mess. Jumping out of a plane. I'm like, you got to sign a waiver just in case you die, right?
Yeah, I remember just doing that on the. Well, let's just do this. Hot 97. Let's just keep it all the way. Let's just bring it to the people.
All the way live. Just, hopping out of a plane. Woo!
Let's just bring the coverage here. Oh, got it. Hold on.
So, you need a logo. The obvious choice is going to Fiverr, finding a logo designer and second. But you're not obvious.
Okay, let's come. Here we go.
I got it now. I made a mistake. I went too fast. Ebro addresses Diddy's comments on voting and the importance of your vote, boss.
There we go.
So all that big Willie talk, how you're playing yourself. You're playing yourself. You're playing yourself.
I don't play. One of the biggest fundamental flaws that voters, and this isn't even just black voters, this is voters in general.
Ebro, what you know about Ebro? Hold on.
4 years, too many of us show up.
What you know about Ebro?
At the presidential level, and we think the job is done. And for that, I give all.
They're not voting on policy. They're voting on emotions and feelings.
Of course.
Been taught to us properly.
Why is he so low?
Well, if you can hear my voice,
I can hear.
If you don't know,
now you know.
Now you know. You still got to get the senators lined up, guys. You got to vote down the ballot. You got to know what's going on in your state.
Have to vote
and I
locally.
encourage anybody out there that's talking about a national black agenda to please go talk to the mayors and the people at a local level who are actually doing the work. Diddy, I love you. You live in Los Angeles.
Garcetti ain't going to help.
Have you talked
him.
to the mayor of Compton, a black woman? Have you talked to the mayor of San Francisco, a black woman? Have you talked to the mayor of Atlanta,
he's calling
a
them
black
out.
woman? Have you talked to the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi, a black man who's in a red state with a population of 80%, maybe 90% black, and they are surrounded by
their globalist agenda.
The rest of the state of Mississippi. You know how hard it must be to actually get resources to Jackson, Mississippi?
No.
Who on the national levels going, we got to look out for the black folks in Jackson, Mississippi?
But you've convinced them all they need to be voting for illegal.
The mayor of a black woman. The mayor of Chicago, another black woman.
Newark,
a black man. Have anybody talked to these mayors
to
make sure that we're all in line? Or are we just jumping on Instagram, causing divisive conversations and creating friction?
Is he saying divisive?
Congratulations. You
Yes.
played yourself.
That was the one
Because
part
we
I would
don't
like to
agree.
congratulate. I will just say the beginning part of Diddy's statement when he has
there
that
we
moment
go.
about Shawnee, can you play it again? It's in the way beginning of it, the first 10 seconds or so.
The black vote is not going to be for free. We're going to have to see some promises. You know, what are we getting in return for our vote? Nothing has changed for Black America. And in order for us to vote for Biden, we can't be taken for granted like we always are because we're supposed to be Democrats.
Supposed to be Democrats.
Boom. Go hit that button right there. That part right there, that was the late night in the studio with Kanye West conversation talk. That part
That's
right there.
making people go crazy.
But that also is a part of a social media conversation that is becoming very popular because it's a crucial time right now. And if you're going to have leverage in a negotiation, when do you start negotiating?
Have to be
during a crucial time.
But we shouldn't be afraid of Trump. That to me sounds like the defense of the MAGA hat talk. That to me is what I hear.
Look at this.
I understand you don't want to vote scared. I get what you're saying there. But this whole idea of that Trump isn't a threat, specifically,
now he got to be a threat.
It's crazy. If we get 4 more years of Trump, he's going to throw another Supreme Court justice in there, a conservative one.
Now,
you know how many things are going to get overturned?
Did you say one?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
And what
sorry.
agenda
Did you
would
say
she
one?
be supporting?
sorry.
She's not
Trump
black.
could have had put in.
She's not at all. Both of them are
Supreme Court
Latino.
justices.
Both of them are.
And you know why y'all
They're not.
running
They're
around,
not the
once
ones
again,
with
just
the high
showing up
abortion
every 4
rates.
years
At
and
all.
voting for president,
At
and
all.
you think the job is done.
But no,
Congratulations.
they've
You played
tucked
yourself.
themselves under the same
RBG.
feather as them.
Yo, RBG,
They're both Puerto
she
Rican.
could be, bruh. Every
She
time I
needs
turn
to go.
around
How
that
long
woman,
did she hold on,
bruh, y'all gotta
She's
help her
not.
out.
She's voting
We
based
gotta help her
on
out.
global
And Sonia
stuff.
Sotomayor can't do it alone.
Yeah. Yo, it could be 7 conservative judges.
That's Vietnam.
I'm confused.
And can we remind people that Supreme Court
What
justices
war
are there
did he
forever.
serve in?
For
It's
the
a
rest of your
lifetime
life.
position.
He's
For the rest of your
comparing
life.
this to
What was on
Vietnam.
your list today?
Mine is light, guys.
Oh my
It's
God.
just-
Good.
It just made me laugh. Okay, so all of us are taking Zoom meetings because that's all we can do right now, right? So this reporter, his name is Will Reeve, all right, decided to check in with Good Morning America.
Who is this guy?
And he's an ABC contributor.
Let me get a.
And while he was doing his,
I don't know if I can take much more of these people.
Right.
He felt,
Right.
it was only
Right.
He was doing
Because
it
they're
he wanted
not.
to wear a
Not really.
button up, a jacket.
They don't have. They don't have.
Real
pants.
information.
They don't. Not only.
Facts.
They're
Except the
just doing
camera
a whole
did.
bunch of
It caught, like,
abortions
his thigh
and a whole bunch of
He had to
misinformation.
tweet. He was like,
Yeah.
he was like, it is the most hilariously mortifying experience ever.
They're
He
just
got
trying to
caught
ride
on
the black.
national
I'm gonna tell you.
television
Let me
listening.
put this.
Right.
in.
Black
Congratulations.
queen.
They are trying to. See, this is the thing about painting yourself in cultural Marxism. These people have an agenda as well. As you think they don't. As long as I'm not going to sit here and say all Hispanics and all Latinos have the same agenda, but some of them. My thing is, if you want to break this down, most of the freedoms and the laws and the liberties that have been fought for were fought for by Black people. The civil rights, those kinds of things, the government rights
Right.
that they keep on begging and screaming for, those were pioneered by Black people. So they're going to ride the coattail. Now you're basically calling out the Black people for not voting for what's in your best interest, because you're the one with the problem. They're the ones that are trying to ride the coattail for illegal immigration benefits. I mean, is that not real?
Free everything.
I mean, look at the
Free
government.
healthcare. Free healthcare. What
So-
else do they want?
Shouldn't a radio station like that, shouldn't that cause a rift between the Black community, the Black and the Browns?
No,
They
because nope. But
It
the
should
reason
cause a rift because you're basically telling the Black people, you're basically putting down the same people who are actually fighting for your agenda to allow you to keep your benefits coming, but you're telling them they're making a mistake when it's on the backs of them that you got most of the rights you have anyway.
our minds, it should, but to them, they're promoting how come we're not being supported by the but in my mind it questions me. It's like
everybody has an agenda. The more they keep on trying to break this junk down based on demographics and based on race, eventually you're going to have.
Now I ain't got nothing to say. You got it.
It's a conflict because you keep basing everything on color and on division. You're basing it on cultural Marxism, and every time they do that, they're never going to see themselves as, what do you want to say, equal?
Right. In their mind, they're already not equal.
They didn't come here. We have different stories.
They see themselves in a totem pole world. So in the totem pole world via Native American,
I think they think they're entitled. I'm going to be honest. Entitled. Listen
they
to
do.
This kind
it's
of
the opposite. It's been changed.
They're more entitled than even the blacks.
They're basically the You said they're more entitled than the blacks. They're basically supremacists on a different level.
Well, and I've heard it. I'm not saying all, but I've heard both sides. I have friends of Latino and Hispanic background, and of course I have black friends. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here. I don't like for people to make false equivalency. Somebody at the border versus somebody that's a slave descendant. That's two different things.
Hey, speaking of which, I got something for you right here. Since you're talking about that.
So now they have a problem with what
watch this, and she's a Latina.
That's incorrect. And anyway, if the people on the detention camp during the southern border, all they are is supportive back. That's it. And I'm like, okay, well, so many Hispanics criticize that. I'm like, okay, well, in our country, in Mexico, what do we do to any of the poor immigrants? Because I do feel bad for them. Poor immigrants that do try to cross our border. Over 80% of the women who are in those caravans are assaulted or raped. A lot of people are murdered. So they have no pity for them. Trust me, the migration officers in southern Mexico have no sympathy for them. That's why a lot of them get murdered. That's it. That's all. There's no such thing as a concentration camp here in
and she specifically was talking about a few things. She's one of the people I actually talked to her. She was talking about how there's racism in the Latino community by itself alone, away from every other community. If you're a darker tone,
they have their issues too. They do.
Yes, if you have a darker tone in their culture, you're considered lesser than in every platform.
And that's true. And I've heard that before. I've heard that in Puerto Rico. Hi, Keith the Faith. How you doing? Thanks for coming in at this late hour. Well, what I'm saying is, yeah, I've heard that from my friends that are either Puerto Rican or other backgrounds. They'll tell you that for commercials in Puerto Rico,
right? They
would prefer the lighter skin Latino over. So they have that same type of. They might have a same type of psychological, inferior complex as we do. But I'm saying when it comes to immigration status and all that stuff, to me is two different things, because a lot of people want, we're a nation of immigrants. But even people that came to the US back when the nation, shortly, I guess after the nation's founding, many of those people, the people that could not make it, they went back to where they came from.
Yes, they did.
When they couldn't compete, when they couldn't sustain it, they left. But But are they over there chanting that America is racist because they couldn't make it and they went back? It was it was a free market back then. We would have had everybody here, right? If it wasn't,
if anybody watched the movie Scarface, that's the proof that in the third world countries, you can see, even if you try your best to take out the worst politicians, you will be trampled. Period. That's exactly what the movie was about. He took out a politician that wanted to trample over everybody, and he ended up getting trampled in the end. That was the basis of the movie Scarface. But everybody missed that because they were paying attention to the cocaine and the guns. You didn't look at the political standpoint, and he kept saying he was a political activist. What is a gangster with cocaine and guns doing, saying the words, I'm a political activist? This is how the country used to be run. And I'm not going to just say used to be, because we don't know how it is behind the scenes. At the same time, this is what happens when it comes to power and things we don't necessarily understand and know. Just like when Bush got caught with one of his jets was filled with cocaine, and it had the whole United States emblem on the daggone jet. I'm just still trying to figure out what the heck was that about. And he was your president, and you got cocaine in your jet. I'm talking about pounds and tons. But the things of these natures that we don't necessarily understand, that we're not going to understand until we get a further understanding of what's going on with the economics versus the people versus our interests. Our interests are not always aligned with the people. We got interests. The people got interest, but the people in power don't necessarily have the exact same interests as we do. We're lower. Once again, we're going on the totem pole thing. And a lot of people believe full-heartedly on the totem pole thing. That people at the bottom and the cream rises to the top. That's something that I learned in entrepreneurship. That they teach you, no matter if you want to succeed or not. They keep telling you over and over. The cream rises to the top. You know, so I mean, it's a monopoly in my eyes.
Well, I'm certainly not. I mean, these people, I'm not going to say that I think that hi, the Foreign XP. If you guys will hit that like button. I'm just going through some of those comments.
Like, share, and subscribe, please, please, please. She's a wonderful host.
You're too kind. I appreciate you guys for coming in at this late hour. Shout out to Keith DeFaith, William Vast Gaming. This is DJ Vision Barnett, by the way. Robert L, the TR show that was in here earlier. Appreciate it. But yes, I'm just saying that I'm not. My thing is, they need to start thinking, and they need to start thinking about, they need to find some perspectives that they're not being parroted on mainstream media. They need to build up your own armory so that when you go in, you at least know, you need to know something about these policies. And that's when people get all butthurt when somebody says something about the Holy O, because they're not thinking about policy. It's like, you want to talk about, well, he's always trying to blame President Obama. Okay, well, was he not the president? Do you think his history judges the past? In order for you to know where you're going, you have to know the history. And he's going to be judged by history. History is not going to care that he was black. 50 years, 100 years from now, do you think these people are going to care about the values of what these people are whining about right now? No.
This is the reason why I won't vote for Obama again, because I did vote for Obama. I'm ashamed. And I had to explain that to one of my managers. I'm like, dude, the only reason why I vote for Obama because he was black. And in my mind, my great-grandfather told me, you would never see a black president. So I believed in that thought and continued with it. That was it. It had nothing to do with policy.
Novelty. That's not.
I didn't even know anything about policy.
Well, see, that's what I mean. That's why they keep people where they are, so they don't know, so they can't vote based on any policies or any values. Like, what are your values? Do you have any values of your own?
The worst part about it is when I actually voted for Obama, they forced during the vote situation, when you're actually voting, okay, you could vote for Obama, but it was several laws along with him based on my local legislature saying that I'm a registered Democrat. I didn't agree with not one of them, but I just had to go along with them to vote for Obama for me to be a part of that gang. It's like a gang. It's no different than a gang. And if you're not a part of the gang, you're out of it. You're ostracized, and you're not for our people and all this mess. It's just a whole bunch of mess. Right. Sometimes I just want one of my family members to say, "Hey, I don't necessarily. I'm not even into politics, but if that's what you vote for, I'm with it." I just want one of my family members just to agree with me and say, "Look here, you know, I'm not necessarily involved in politics, and I you know, but if that's what you're voting for, hey, that's your your right." I'm waiting for that to come out of one of my family members' mouths, and me being black and African American. I doubt that's gonna happen.
Well, I don't really. I mean, I don't really. I think if you're not thinking about if you're not actually thinking, if there's no thought actually involved, and I'm not talking about what somebody said, you know, I'm going to say this, if you follow politics for 3 to 6 months, it'll change your entire vision about, you'll be forever changed.
Forever.
And you cannot remain the same. You cannot vote the same way for decades if you've never looked at both sides. You can never have a chance at making up your own mind.
If you start reading House bills, House resolutions, Senate bills, your mind would, everything would drift. The worst part about that statement is, before my great-grandfather died, that's all he watched. He was a big fan of Tucker, and I never understood why. But he was, quote unquote, supposed to be Democratic. Quote unquote. He never said what he was. I'm just being honest.
Speaking of that, have you seen that movie Out of the Shadows?
Might have. Give me a ring.
It's supposed to be new. I haven't seen it, and I don't know where I can find it. But they said that that's a good movie.
You'll have to share a trailer of that movie with me.
They say it's on YouTube, which I'm be surprised if YouTube let that go through.
Right.
You know, but I'm also going to be on Patreon as well, so I'm not monetized here, and you know they've slowed down some of the growth on everybody's pages. You know. So, you know, you because some people were growing that, they were just growing overnight, you know. And it's like, I swear I go to bed with a certain amount. I wake up with, I go to bed with a certain amount.
And you're waking up with less?
And I woke up with less. That's an exaggeration.
With 800.
Yeah, I'm like, because, you know, some people used to boast, "Oh, I got 1,000 subscribers in 1 month."
Right.
Ooh,
I learned what it is when it comes to being monetized. It's about your view time. Your
watch hours.
Watch hours. There you go. So you right.
See, you should be above me in watch hours.
Only because every day I socialize with people who do live streams every single day. Because the people I socialize with literally say in their live streams, press the bell, like and subscribe to their channel.
Okay, tell these people.
They shout me out.
Tell
and then I go to their friends, and they do a live, and then I go to their friends, they do a live stream, and then they say this exact same thing. So it's a repeating cycle. So I'm
going to say this: like, share, subscribe. If you're still in this place, like, share, subscribe,
and press the bell, because if you don't press the bell, you'll never know when they're getting on.
Press the bell, because I'm going to be on here beating the streets for the next. I was thinking at one point I need to do like 4 hours a day.
Hey, I'm with you. Period. I'm trying to tell you.
So like 2 hours I need to get up early in the mornings and do 2 hours in the morning. I need to get up and before it gets too late, I need to do 2 hours. But I've seen people streaming more than that. They're almost doing 3 hours at a time, 3 and 3, 6 hours a day. But I don't even know what happens when you get. Do they send you something when you get monetized?
Most likely, yes.
I mean, I don't know if they, like if you earn something right away, or like, and then that first day you get monetized, you think you're going to be making a ton of money.
all you get monetized is on the super chats.
You're gonna get your super chat rolling,
and then that's up to your viewers to give you monetized.
I'm sorry, I had to get a snack.
Bro, I'm just holding out. I'm starving.
Well, I shouldn't have gone down this hill, but I'm going down now.
All is well.
But yeah, I'm saying, if I had I didn't really know the rules of the game,
Yeah.
I didn't know. Prior to coming on here, it was never really my original goal to, I guess, to become more legit. I guess is when you become a YouTube legit.
Yeah, I understand. Same here. It was kind of just fun for me, but eventually it became serious because I realized with
I would imagine you probably have like 3,000 hours.
I'm not gonna give myself that much. I'm not gonna give myself that much. I mean, I just know I have viewers. I have hours from making music videos.
Is that right?
So at the bottom of my page, I have music videos that I produced and I shot and I edited and pushed out. Other than that, it's all gun talk and politics combined, and law and gun laws and 2A stuff. So other than that, that's it. I don't have nothing else on my survival in bug out situations. But other than that, I pretty much don't have anything else.
Yeah, you and old school have good bug out advice.
Yep. And the only reason why I got good bug out advice is because I was in programs. Like I was in a camping program in which they literally taught you everything about stuff like that. They taught you about footprints of different animals. They taught you about. I mean, they taught you about all that stuff, making a fire. It reminded me of the Boy Scouts, except for it wasn't the Boy Scouts. It was, what was it? Camp Schmidt. I remember. Yeah, it was called Camp Schmidt in Maryland. It's definitely in a backwoods somewhere I can't name, but they're sponsored by Air Force and military programs, and survive and they base everything on survival tactics. But overall, everything I learned was from Civil Air Patrol and a science program that I was put in when I was young, which I did at least 10 to 15 different experiments as far as this is a lot of things in there. They had us doing biopsies. They had us. I was a kid.
What? A biopsy of what?
Yeah, they were all animals, but they had us doing biopsies on at least 10 different species, but even octopus, but owl species, I guess you want to call it, because we learned that the owls in Maryland eat rats, mice, and other things that we would never even guess. Bats. We didn't even eat bats. Just a lot of things, even making your own recipes. I learn how to make my own recipes. So with strawberries and whatnot, and put it in a smoothie and got it, you can have your own health potential situation if you combine strawberries and blueberries and this and that and all these daggone, but you can find that in the daggone local nutritional spot, and you can keep yourself healthy in a situation like this pandemic. Most people don't think like that. They go to the chemical. They don't go to the actual natural the natural berry of the fruit first. So we learn things like that. And first part about that is I learned that when I was super young. And I'm like, okay, how come I can learn about that when I'm young? But when I get older people who are older than me don't follow these things, and they're older than me, and they just eat meat after meat after meat after pork after meat after chicken after meat. They don't even bother even promoting, drink a smoothie every couple of days, at least every 3 days or something, please. Like that will increase your chances of killing anything in your immune system if you get anything, let alone, I'm not going to say the word because we're on live.
Okay. But I'm going to drop your link again. Oops, I got a comment here anyway.
All right. See, there we go.
What's that?
Show me love. Show us love. Show me love.
I thought I saw a comment. Okay, well, I'm going to drop your link anyway. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share, guys, because I've seen some people come by here and they keep going and they don't hit the
they don't hit anything. They just come by and start talking.
They don't realize that they're still being tracked, even if they don't stop.
Right.
But they don't hit the like button. So I'm still
like,
and I don't mean to count people like that. I don't mean to be a tyrant about it.
You're doing your job. You're doing your job.
But I have to keep track of these things because I don't do growth streams per se, but when there's a chance for me to one up my growth, I have to try to say, hey, can you hit the check-in button or whatnot. I'm going to start tracking. I mean, and that's how my, for anybody that's out there that's listening, the more you come in, the more your chances are, the higher your chances are of getting to be chosen as the playlist of the week. I'm going to start charting those.
Oh, there we go. There we go. That's what we meant to mention.
Because I'm not monetized, so people can't donate directly through here, and I can't, and some of their channels are not monetized. Some of my friends that I support, they're not monetized either. So that's one way we can support each other.
Hours. One thing we can do is we can get you up on watch hours by playing playlists. So right. if you actually support this channel, everyone, then please play her playlist. Play my playlist.
Right. So what I'm doing is this is what here it is, plain and simple. The first two people in the chat, the day I pick it, that's how I'm determining who gets the right now. I might change it to like an average for every day that I go live. Those first two, whoever has the most, whoever's been in the most that week, will get the the playlist played. But like I said, I'm not even asking for them to do it back. I'm just saying this is something that I'm doing because you're coming in to you're viewing my live stream. You're attending my live stream. So let me just show you appreciation for you.
Right.
Your support, here's some support for you. As you came to my stream, let me come and watch something on your channel. And and without a dime. You don't pay me a dime to do that, and I don't pay you a dime. So we're even.
Exactly.
Nobody said that I couldn't do that. That's illegal to do. So that's why I decided that was a fair. I don't have a, like you see a lot of people that they're up to the level in which you can join and have memberships and all that stuff. I'm not at that level. So all I can do is create you create your own programs, so that's the playlist of the week. Two people. I thought about maybe doing it. What I could do to make it even more transparent is pick one day out of the week, and whoever comes in on that day, the same day every week, say who comes in on Monday, those people will get their playlist watched. And then the next week, whoever comes in on that Monday, the next Monday, if you come in on the next Monday again, then if you got another playlist, I just go to that second playlist. So I could do it that way. I'll just tell there's a little change in it. I'll change. There's some people that come to my stream every single time.
I'm one of those people.
You are. The people that know that they're coming. The people that know that they're coming.
I'm at work and I get the notification. I'm like, okay. When I'm on my break, I'll just dial in.
What I should do is I'm going to start shouting out the people that come in on Monday, and then I'll pick from there everybody that comes in on Monday. You get your playlist.
Hey.
So you can't lose.
More for you Monday. More for you Monday.
I like that. That. Yeah, that's it. It is more. That is a good slogan. The more for you on Monday. So what I have been doing was just the first two people that come in that they get, and then I also drop. Not only do I play the playlist, I drop their links that week. So you're getting something for coming in here, for supporting the channel. So yeah, you get some promotion and you get some hours. I can't offer more than that. So, or either, I could just do one, but like I said, that's good because, I have people that come in and I have these moderators and stuff. They're doing stuff for me because I've had my first few trolls. You
did and I did. We both did. Yeah.
You're moving up when you get the trolls.
I never had a troll until I showed you my troll. So,
and you're moving up when you start getting trolls.
We had the best conversation. I'm like, come on.
If you don't have a troll,
come on.
You're not legit. You get baptized by the trolls. And I tell them, look, I only have a few crumbs. I don't have enough crumbs. I only have a few crumbs for the trolls.
The worst part about it is the troll was laughing as he trolled me. He couldn't even take himself serious.
Oh my God!
He was going as he pressed the button to blast my screen full of madness.
Wicked trolls! Wicked trolls! How could you be a wicked troll? So yeah, I mean, I enjoy, yapping it up, but it's funny how they'll come out. You want to come talk at the end of the show? I'm not your teacher. I'm not your leader. You come on the show.
2 minutes.
Come on the show and say your piece. Come on the show.
Exactly. Don't be a spy. One thing that Old School does is he forces his trolls to be a moderator. So he forces the troll to speak, which they want to hide behind the camera. Of course, every troll wants to hide behind the scene, hide behind the computer, the camera, say nothing, and be covert, and be what is the word?
Wait. I got something for you.
Okay.
No, you keep going.
Basically, the troll wants to be.
You learn in school today, dear little boy of mine.
Is that right?
You learn in school today, dear little boy of mine. Never told a lie. I learned that policemen are my friends. I learned that everybody's free.
Oh, okay.
That is horrible. Okay, let's see. What is it?
Oh,
You go ahead first before I bring you this. They said this guy loves to be on the camera, but go ahead.
Yeah, but what I was saying was basically trolls. They just want to be heard, even if they're not legit. And most of the time, 90% of the time, they know they're not legit.
Why they can just go on their own channels and just do?
They don't. That's not how they work. A troll is somebody who forces you to acknowledge who they are. Imagine a literal troll under the bridge and you have to pay a toll. That's where the word comes from. You have to pay me my price for me to acknowledge you to pass on the bridge. So for me to be acknowledged on my own platform, I have to pass them as legit. Even if they're not legit. That's how trolls work. Give me a token. Right. Give me a token and you can pass the bridge.
You got that right. That's a great point. That is I guess the epitome of a troll.
There you go.
Right. Okay, so hold on, just one shake. Let me play this because. Good
afternoon. A few days back, we announced a program that we framed as beginning to solve two problems at once. The frame was simple. We have so many restaurants throughout the state of California struggling. Those that are just doing takeout, struggling to keep those doors open.
So what are you doing about
others struggling to keep tabs on their employees that are now on unemployment. Others that haven't even imagined the prospect of being able to even open modestly for takeout. We have seniors, millions of seniors in the state of California, many with no access to nutritious food, no access to prepared meals, no capacity at home, if isolated, to even prepare the meals in the first place. And so we advanced a framework to begin the process of reopening restaurants to start to provide those meals, 3 meals a day, delivered, packaged, prepared, delivered to the doorstep of seniors all throughout the state of California.
But it's
that
funny
program now is just starting to take shape. Today, we're announcing a strategy to do the same around food, but now focusing on farms to families, focusing on the issues that obviously are front and center all across the nation, and that's issues of food banks and how we could do more to help support our farmers, help support farm workers, and help support food banks here in the state of California. This new initiative that we're launching today is a partnership between the federal government, the state of California, and philanthropy. It's a strategy that's rather simple. Currently, our farmers, our ranchers, are experiencing about a 50% reduction in demand, which is a jaw-dropping reduction in demand. They have excess produce. They have excess.
He loves to be on the camera.
That they simply,
that's what they say.
In many respects, it's perishable items. Some of them.
But he never did this prior to. This is funny that you're worried about nutrition prior to this.
Average seen a 73%
It took a pandemic
demand
for you to do something about the food, the
world,
poor,
California,
of course.
And we want to address that mismatch. We want to address the supply and the demand, and so that's the announcement today. To work with the ranchers, to work with the farmers, to connect them to the food banks, and do so in a way that jumpstarts our capacity to deliver nutritious food, high quality, locally produced produce, poultry, and dairy, and the like, to those most in need in the state of California. The partnership currently has about 128 farmers.
What are the names of these people that are doing this partnership?
To 41 food banks being distributed in 58 counties. The goal of this announcement is to provide 21 million pounds of fresh food and
Is that right?
produce on a
Are
monthly
you going to
basis,
create
20 to 21 million pounds of fresh produce and other commodities to our food banks. We've raised some $3.6 million to jumpstart this program. We want to extend this program through the end of the year. So connecting California's farms, farm workers, connecting to the cause of our food banks.
Before the pandemic, Trump literally threw billions of dollars to all farmers.
To the farmers of 15% and providing a wage
Yeah,
to the
they
farm
were
workers and getting philanthropy to help support this and getting those
farmers were
dollars
bragging
from,
about.
So here's the thing. He's saying government's going to do everything and make everything all right.
We gave you that before you even had a pandemic.
And before the pandemic, you had these same people with the same needs, and you still got homelessness.
For life.
It's not, I just, but you're bankrupt. They're bankrupt. So where are you getting this money from?
The printing machine.
Because, what is it? De Blasio and Cuomo want to be bailed out. So then he's going to tell Trump, oh, well, I'm paying for food. I need some more money. Daddy, I need some more money. I gave Daddy Trump, I gave a whole bunch of
Daddy, we need more allowance. We need more allowance. We have to go play.
Cuomo the other day was like, de Blasio, well, I haven't heard from Trump on this, because he's not going to keep giving you guys money.
Pretty much. You have a whole hospital and ventilators. You're not even using them.
See, that's the remarkable thing about that. All the things that they begged for, they got them. They even had these auto industries eking out, coming back to the plants to manufacture these things. And now, oh, well, we don't need those. What you?
Yep, we're overstocked. Now you're overstocked.
That didn't take long. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. It sounds like they were hoping that they were going to get the money instead of the actual device. Because those ventilators are not cheap. What are they like? Like $4,000 or so for the ventilator. So they probably thought, well, oh yeah, let's tell them we need this many ventilators and whatever, and we'll give us the money for them, and we'll just take the money and do whatever we want to do. Which Newsom gave illegals like $500 in cash plus like another stipend or something. I'm like, okay, so you wonder why you don't have any money.
Yep. They tried to slide that in the first package because they were saying that the illegals didn't have the substantial amount of sustainability for them to do what they had to do, even though they were here.
That's the key word. I've never been able to sustain anything illegally, not me.
So exactly. So what they said, illegals and refugees is the two words they use, and they literally gave them money cash. So
if they gave them somebody else's money.
And pretty much,
I guarantee you, if it came out of their pocket, they wouldn't have been giving it to them.
Oh no, we know that.
If it was their tax money, they wouldn't be giving it to them.
They would be inside of a mansion eating ice cream, talking about what they do without chocolate.
Oh yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Why does he get up here? So you're going to open the restaurant to serve meals to people, but you're not going to open them long enough to help the people that need to stay open, that need to make a living. You see how this is? You see how they're contradicting? You're contradicting yourself. If you could open up to help people not starve, then don't you think you're serving the same purpose if you just say they open up beyond takeout?
They're not thinking. They stop thinking. They're going with the flow of who says what we need to do. That's it.
That's not. A lot of those people had to throw out food because they've been closed down.
Exactly.
So there's
thousands of dollars of wasteful food that you could have been used within the past month, but it's just going to the trash now.
Yeah, and those farmers are plowing that food under because it's all there's nobody there to harvest it. So it's just horrible, you know. But see, he's doing that to save face because he knows these food banks are basically becoming empty.
Not be drawn down is the spirit of the announcement today.
Oh my
But there are
God.
two other components that I want to share as well. We got 2 waivers from the federal government. One waiver is rather significant. The CalFresh program, our SNAP, our food stamp program.
Here you go with the food
CalFresh
stamps.
program can now today provide access to commodities online. So if you have a CalFresh debit card, you can now go online and utilize CalFresh at scale. We start with just 2 partners for the moment, and that's Amazon and Walmart. And so that's just for the moment, Amazon, Walmart, but now you can shop online with CalFresh. We want to expand those partnerships beyond Walmart and Amazon. I'll announce that when those partnerships are available, but currently we are affording this because of that waiver to everybody in the state of California. And I say everybody, it's about 2.2 million households, a little over 4 million people that now can avail themselves to access that opportunity online today as well. The second waiver that I wanted to mention.
But see, and that's so bad because they're going to people, that's going to make Amazon, and they're also trying to, in some ways, they're trying to suppress Amazon. So all of a sudden now,
oh yes,
they can go, now all of a sudden they can order, you could order food from, you're going to make it where people aren't going to be able to get other things from Amazon because you're going to swamp them with a demand for groceries that people could be going to, people that are not, people could actually be able to go up. People are actually still able to go to the grocery stores.
Like me. Like me.
He's making it seem like they're not allowed to go to the grocery stores. So why are you going to swamp? Now you're going to make Amazon lose money on their other products because people aren't going to be able to get them because they're going to be swamped with demands for your program. When their grocery stores open, they even had hours for seniors. Okay.
Oh, yeah. The seniors are first. I already know that because of my local jurisdiction, they already did. But
yeah,
so
because
the seniors are allowed at malls and grocery stores first before anybody. They get about 2 hours, and then everybody else can do what they want to do.
And see, on top of that, guess who got to stay open? How are you helping small businesses if you're still pushing business towards Amazon, Walmart? Those places never closed down.
Ever. They're 24-hour shops.
They never closed. So you got, and then the grocery stores are still open. So exactly. You're still hurting those restaurants and small businesses because you're only going to let them serve, you're going to make them give free meals.
How the heck is the LA Lakers a small business? I'm kind of wondering to figure that out. and also, how is Ruth Chris small business? They create the best steaks on some of the best steaks on the planet. I'm a witness.
Well, I am not. I have had Ruth's Chris because I had somebody in my life once upon a time that used to want to go there, and I enjoyed the place a couple of times. But
I had Ruth's Chris in Florida. I didn't have Ruth's Chris in my local area.
I don't like buttery steaks. Like, can you not put so much butter on this steak?
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty much. It didn't have too much butter on the steak. It was my choice to put whatever I wanted on that steak. And when it comes to Florida steaks, it's a different ball game.
It was thick, buttery steaks. Like, why does this steak have so much butter on it?
They gave you a buttermilk. They gave you a buttermilk steak.
I could scrape the butter off of this steak.
They gave you a buttermilk steak. Usually the butter supposed to be melted before you even get it. Come on, man.
Well, it was still sitting on the top in a puddle. But no,
Amateurs.
You want to brown the steak and do something fancy with the steak behind the scenes, but don't saturate my steak.
No.
They
said they wanted to carry you hot.
But I tell you what, I'm gonna wrap this stream up.
All right. No problem.
It's been fun. My gosh, DJ, you were on for a long time.
Yes,
it was fun. It was no less fun. When are you going to be on? When are you coming back on? I'm going to be back on tomorrow for sure. When are you coming back on, or you're on your stream? I think old school stream tonight, and I missed that one too.
I am gonna have to shoot a stream as soon as possible. Probably most likely tomorrow, because I got a whole bunch of 2A updates that I haven't even talked about that I have to show on my channel. That I'm realizing on your channel it's getting through. So if it's getting through on your channel, it get through on my channel without my stuff being deleted. It's copyright. So knowing that, as far as how things are going right now,
I tell you what, hang on a second. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. Guys, thanks so much. Shout out to Keith the Faith, William Bass Gaming, the Foreign XP. Check out DJ's merch, and his link is in the description box. Robert L, Banging Gears, the TR Show, Nathan Fishboy from Australia. And who else? DJ Vision Barnett's our guest for this evening or this morning. Putri Diary, shout out to you. Killer Whale Channels, shout out to you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on tomorrow. Have a great night, morning, wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.